What's up, guys? Welcome back to Games on Deck, and AMD has recently released their update to FSR, which is 3.1, which finally updates the upscaler part of this package that also has frame gen in there. Now, this is released for 5 Nixus ports right now, and it's coming to Ragnarok as well later on, but I'm taking a look at the 2 Spider-Man games right now in this video. We might take a look at the other games as well here down the road, but I thought I would cover these 2. They're both running pretty well. Definitely look better than they did back on the original FSR 2.0, 2.1, 2.2, and all that. So we'll take a little bit of a closer look here. When we get into it, we'll start with Spider-Man. And I'll have a little comparisons throughout this video, but they're not super great because my prior footage compared to what I record these days just isn't quite up to snuff, but we'll throw a little in here anyway. The picture quality here with the new FSR update looks much better, and when it comes to that shimmering effect or ghosting effects and things like that, it's definitely a good bit cleaner than what it was, especially down at like launch. Even things like window edges or his web in general and stuff just look better with this upscaling on with 3.1 versus the 2.0 we had at launch time, and that maintains all throughout the game, being combat and all that kind of stuff. It just looks a lot better to play here on the Steam Deck. Now, as far as taking a closer look at the actual FSR, here's quality mode here. You can see some buildings out there. We have very little shimmer. Birds look good. Little details look pretty good, and it holds up pretty well. Even going to performance now, we gain a little more shimmer out there, but we do maintain a lot of the detail, way more than what we used to with FSR. And when we go to ultra performance, yes, it introduces a little bit more shimmer. Water doesn't look as good around his suit, the shadows, but it is better than what it used to be and certainly can help with performance. And this game is definitely running and looking better than I think it ever has since launch. I really like what AMD is doing here, continuing to update FSR. I use NVIDIA a lot as well with the DLSS. It's always been superior, but FSR is certainly gaining with every update. I think the image quality here on the original Spider-Man game that came to PC is the best it's ever been, and its performance is great with some pretty smooth frame times as well. Now let's jump over and take a look at Spider-Man Miles Morales. Now, this Spider-Man game also benefits quite well from 3.1. I'll do some comparing here, but again, my prior footage isn't as clear or as nice as what I have now, so I don't want to get too into image quality, but bouncing here between the quality, balanced, what we can see is a little less of that shimmer, snow details decent, and we maintain a higher FPS, which I only saw when we got this 3.1 update. So I feel like the higher we're going here on our performance, the picture quality is similar maybe, but the FPS certainly gains more than what I was getting prior. So I think 3.1 may have done something more for this game, but you guys let me know what you're noticing with that. And same like the original Spider-Man, I think this game is playing, feeling, and looking as good as it ever has since launch, especially here on the Steam Deck, especially if you're looking at this on a larger screen, and I've captured it here on the PC. 800p, especially upscale, doesn't always look that great, but I'm going to be honest, I actually think this is looking pretty good, especially if you're just on the smaller deck screen or the OLED deck screen. This is looking really good. So I like what AMD's got going on here with these FSR updates. Now, frame generation is another thing we'll get more into in some other videos, but for me on SteamOS, it just hasn't been worth it in most games. We don't gain what I would like to gain. It's not always the smoothest feature. The frame time counter is always going to be wacky, but even in this area, we only gain like 8 FPS to 10 FPS, and it just feels pretty janky. Spider-Man had the best chance for me, but it's mileage may vary. You got to decide if you want to mess with it. I don't think it's the best right now on OS. Here on Windows that you're seeing, though, I do get a smoother experience with frame gen, so I do feel like it could be made to do a little better. Even areas of Ghost of Tsushima, I was locking to 60 and using frame gen, and it felt pretty smooth, looked good. It wasn't near as janky or stuttery, so I don't know. Maybe something better can be done there down the line for frame gen, but use that if you want to there. But anyways, FSR 3.1 on the 2 Spider-Man games, definitely much better on the visual quality, less of that shimmer, everything's looking a little nicer, and the games feel great and are getting better performance than they have. So anyways, guys, thanks a lot for coming and check out the video. As always, I really appreciate it, and I'll see you in the next one.